So far, we've seen the place where Jesus was baptized, explored the salty Dead Sea, and next we're en route to one of the most significant archaeological discoveries of all times, the Qumran Caves. This is the place where they found most ancient manuscripts of the Old Testament in Hebrew. In this episode, we will learn about the community of scribes that once lived here and how their manuscripts have affected Judaism and Christianity today.
Awesome!
That's what happens when you come from Nazareth, babe.
So we are in Qumran. This is an incredible place, isn't it?
Yes.
Wow, so right behind me you'll see the cave where they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Now what is Qumran? Qumran is a set of 11 caves discovered by an accident. That's a pretty cool story. A shepherd boy, a Bedouin shepherd boy, walking around tending his sheep or goats, and he starts throwing rocks into the cave, which is kind of a fun thing to do in Israel.
Yeah, we like throwing rocks around.
That's right. So he's throwing rocks and then he hears a shattering sound of glass or pottery. They go in, they find pottery, and the pottery contains most ancient Hebrew texts, which are manuscripts of the Hebrew Bible.
Scrolls.
Scrolls. How many of them? 850 Hebrew manuscripts. Here's the cool part. Before that, we used to have Masoretic text. Masoretic text is copies of the Hebrew Bible. And now that dates like to the 11th century AD. And it's the oldest copy we had until these were found. And these date 1,000 years older. These are from the 1st century BC. Until they were found, there was a dispute about Psalm 22. It speaks about Jesus being pierced. It says, "They pierced my hands and my feet." Well, that's the English translation. What does the Hebrew text say? Well, until these were found, the Hebrew Masoretic text, which dates from the 11th century, says Ke'ari. And Ke'ari is like a lion. But the more older Greek manuscripts used to say pierced. So which one is true, the Hebrew scripts or the Greek? Well, the Jews used to say the Hebrew is true, the Greek is just a, manufactured fairy tale. Until they found these Hebrew manuscripts, 1,000 years older than the original Masoretic text. And those Hebrew manuscripts say Ke'aru. Instead of a Yud, it's a Vav, translating to pierced. So in fact, the original Hebrew text meant to say pierced. It is a messianic verse, and it's incredible.
Awesome.
So this used to be a community of scribes. They called themselves the community of the Way.
The Yahud.
The Yahud. And they believe that they are the sons of light, and everyone else from outside are sons of darkness. In fact, to get accepted in the community, you had to go through 2 years of like a trial period.
And the purpose of this community mostly was for a life of purity. They were here away from their families, from their friends. They gathered here together for purity. And we know that by the number of mikvahs, the ritual baths that are found in such a small community. They have so many of them. It's just a proportion between the people and the mikveh. So purity was an essential point. They washed before meals, after meals. They washed a lot, basically.
And one of the manuscripts that were found, one of the texts that were here, says a story about a person named John, Yochanan, who came here to be accepted into the community. He stayed here for 2 years, and then suddenly...
Right before he got accepted, he left.
Yes, left. And then later, they get the news of John the Baptist being beheaded, and they're thinking this is the same guy. Interesting story. Another interesting finding in the text from these jars is the bread and wine tradition. Apparently back at their time already, 100 years before Jesus, they had a tradition where they believed of serving bread together with wine over a dinner. And a high priest is supposed to do that. And what's interesting is that they believed the Messiah is going to do it too. And after the Messiah, it's going to be a tradition to be kept every time you get together to eat bread and wine.
Zip line.
But I ate bacon this morning. But it's kosher bacon. I forced my pork, chew on cud. By the way, guys, think about it. Kosher bacon. You forced your pork, chew on the cud. It has split hoof. It's kosher!
We should start a business in Israel. You might have a problem with the Rabbanut though.
Place your order in the comments below. So we were just driving on the road and we said, hey, look at that cool ancient road up. Why not hike it, right? Maybe David climbed this thing once. Wouldn't that be cool? All right. So you see this behind me? That's a rock slide. Not a mud slide, a rock slide. You don't want to be here when it's sliding. This is actually now a dangerous season because this is when it rains. And when it rains, especially first rains, the ground is so hard and dry that the water doesn't soak it in. Instead, it creates a flood. And quite a few people died in this very season in these Judean mountains. It looks like a smooth stone that David threw at Goliath.
It's good to make like pancakes or mashed potatoes or garlic or guac.
Or kill Goliath.
Or kill Goliath, yes. Who wants to be Goliath?
I'll be Goliath. Film. By the way, we have with us extra crew today. Pilot Michael and a tourist from Germany. Night. So yeah, you can pick this mud from across the street for free, but I guess it's just cleaner this way and it's a nice bag. But it's
ahava, so it's a very well known.
$20 though. $20.
Yeah. It's
for mud. $20 for mud.
That's what it comes down to.
Anyway, we're in the gift store in the Qumran Park. Fish, star, and menorah necklace things. We're gonna send 3 of those to 3 random commentators in the section below. So put a comment and we're just gonna randomly let computer select 3 random people from the comment section and send it to you. So once we declare who the winners are, we will reply to your comment. We'll give you our email address so you can tell us your postal address so we can send it to. So make sure to comment below and we'll send it to you.
مرحبا أهلا كيف حالك؟ نشكر الله.
What happened at the counter?
He's in Arabic. I spoke to him in Arabic and he gave me an additional discount.
Also,
that's what happens when you come from Nazareth, babe. 5%. Win-win.
Now we have extra money for like a shawarma or something.
See, it's good to be an Arab sometimes.
Always.